LT is an online learning platform with ready-to-use content for life sciences, nursing, and medicine. If you have recently made the move to LT, you may be wondering how to transition your existing content so that you can take full advantage of the benefits LT provides. Don't worry, even if you use a range of materials to teach your course, it's quick and easy to move your content into LT. In this video, we'll look at how to transition from Microsoft Office, Google Drive, and LabChart. To begin, log into LT and choose the course where you will create your lesson. You will be adding example data to this lesson later on, so remember to change the course settings to allow this. Add an access code. We'll choose 0000. Select Lessons in the course card, and then select New. The new lesson should open automatically. Select the pencil icons in the header to name the lesson and the page. First, let's look at how we would move text from a Word document into LT. Open the Word file that contains the content that you would like to move. Highlight the relevant text in the document and drag this straight into LT. You can change the size of the heading text with the heading text buttons, add bullet points, or create numbered lists. Some of the information in the Word document may be highly detailed or purely for interest. You may wish to place this information in the background pages or within a pop-up. If you want to place the information in the background page, simply select the book icon at the top left of the screen and drag the relevant text onto the page. To add a pop-up, highlight the word that you want the pop-up to link to. Select the Insert Pop-up button. You have two options here. Smaller blocks of text can be copied into the Summary pop-up box. Larger blocks of text can be copied into the Full Screen pop-up window. You can rename the pop-up at the top of the screen. To see how this displays for students, simply select Preview Mode and test out your Summary pop-up and the Full Screen pop-up. To continue authoring, select Exit Preview. Let's continue developing this lesson. Do this by selecting Pages and then New Page. Your Word document may contain some questions for students. Highlight the relevant text and drag it into LT. Hover over the cog icon that appears and choose Text Question. To add feedback, select Instant Feedback and then Set Answer. Copy and paste your answer into the box. Note that questions can also be non-graded, graded, or graded with instant feedback, depending on what you choose in the drop-down menu. Even if you don't wish to grade the questions, instant feedback enables you to provide students with formative assessment at the time of questioning, letting them know whether or not they're on the right track. Select Done to exit the panel. If you would like to provide more interactive learning for your students, you can choose from the wide range of question panel types available in LT. For example, we can use this same material to easily create a multiple choice question. In addition to text, your Word document may contain images. To move an image into LT, simply save the image and then drag it into the screen and release it over the cog icon that appears. You will be presented with different image options. In this case, I just want a simple image. Another way to insert images into LT is to add an image panel to the page. Do this by selecting Panels, then Image. Double-click on this blank image panel and select Add Image from the bottom of the screen. You can use the browser function to find and upload your desired image. This is a good opportunity for you to review the images in your teaching material and identify those that may no longer be accurate or those that could be replaced. Don't forget that ADI has an extensive catalog of images in our existing life science lessons. If you have a table in your Word document, you can recreate it in LT. Simply select Panels, then Table, and drag the panel onto the page. Edit the table so that it has the correct number of rows and columns, and then copy and paste the contents of the table from Word into LT. Although your Word document can't host video or audio, LT can. You may wish to upload small videos that demonstrate instructional setups, procedures, interviews, or case studies for students. You may even wish to record yourself giving a mini lecture or explaining a difficult concept. The possibilities are endless. Remember, now that your content is within LT, it's contained within discrete panels. These panels can be easily rearranged to create a page layout that is both logical and visually appealing. So you've converted a Word document, but what if your material is in a PowerPoint? You'll be glad to hear that the procedure for moving content into LT from PowerPoint is the same as from Word. However, if the PowerPoint contains lecture slides, there may only be a few bullet points on each slide. If you usually talk around these points during a lecture or a face-to-face time, it might be helpful to consider how you can fill in the gaps so that students can better understand the material. You might do this by adding additional panels to the lesson, like text, images, questions with instant feedback, videos, or audio. What if you have some additional data in Excel? You can treat information in Excel as you did any tables in the Word document. You can create a table or spreadsheet question panel in LT, and then fill it in by copying and pasting the relevant information. Note that both the spreadsheet and table question panels are able to host formulas. Simply double-click on a cell to edit its function. If your course materials are stored in Google Drive, you can treat them in a similar way to material in Microsoft Office. The major difference is that you will need to copy and paste text from Google Drive into LT. To do this, create a text panel on the relevant page in LT. Do this by selecting Panels and then Text. Copy the text from your Google Drive document, Doc, Slides, or Sheets by highlighting it, right-clicking, and selecting Copy. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-C. Next, right-click and select Paste. You may wish to use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-V. One of the major benefits of LT is that the platform allows data sampling. If you have LabChart, you can create settings files that control how data is recorded by students into LT. First, create a data panel in LT by choosing a simple data sampling panel. In your LabChart file, select File and Save as Settings. You can now drag this settings file onto the data sampling panel in LT. This will determine the data recorded into the panel by your students. If you want students to have the experience of recording their own data, but also want them to have the ability to view a standard recording for comparison, you can add some example data. In the Open LabChart file, select File and Save As to save a LabChart data file. Select the data sampling panel and choose Instant Feedback from the drop-down menu. Choose Set Answer and upload your example data file by selecting the Add Data button or by dragging the file directly onto the panel. Then, change the panel back to No Assessment. To view your example data, enter Preview mode. Hold down the Shift key and select the Start button. Enter the password we decided on earlier, 0000, to view the example data. If you do not have access to equipment, or you simply want students to view some example data without sampling on their own, you can add a read-only data panel and follow the same procedure to add example data. While you're moving your content from existing documents into LT, it's worth reflecting on how the material is structured and whether it could be improved. For example, you could use LT to create 2 separate lessons. Students could access the first lesson before class, which could provide them with the necessary background knowledge or even assess their existing knowledge. You could review this lesson and use the information you gather to inform how you teach the students using the second LT lesson, or during their face-to-face lesson or lab time. For example, many of our collections feature full-length labs and short 3-page pre-lab preps. In this way, LT makes it very easy to convert your course into a flipped classroom model. If you have any further questions about conversion, please contact your local ADI representative.